Okay, everybody, it's me, Gregory Mannarino. You can probably tell already that I am not a happy camper. I'm not a happy camper, and I'm going to talk about why. And after this video, you should come away with a feeling of disgust as to what is going on right under your nose. It's the truth. So it's a Wednesday, March 18th, 2020. Another day that should go down in history. And actually, we did kind of make history today. Every single dollar, every dollar that President Trump propped up this stock market on since his inauguration is now gone. Zero. He's got nothing to show for it, and nobody here should be happy about that. Okay, people are getting hurt. My phone is ringing constantly, emails. Greg, I don't know what to do. I got to work till the day I leave this earth. I'm really stuck, and it's an incredible situation for me, at least, to hear this. I hate it. I hate to see people get hurt like this, and we haven't seen anything, and I mean zero, zero, zero yet. So so stocks got slammed today, although closed off the low. I'm not saying that's anything promising here. But understand what the saving grace was. What was the saving grace today for those of you who trade this market and understand how things work? Of course, I knew you would say that. It is the 10-year yield, which stayed steady above 1%. If the 10-year yield would have happened to drop below 1%, we would have lost thousands of points in this market. People would have gotten melted down. But I hope this doesn't give people a false sense of hope, because sincerely, we are now in the heart of a worldwide economic and market meltdown. Crude oil is now significantly below my target. As a matter of fact, we haven't hit this level here, I think, since 2002. It's an incredible situation with regard to crude oil. It makes you wonder what's really going on here. Why did Russia choose to start this war on crude oil when they are one of the largest producers of crude oil in the world? It's very interesting to kind of think about that. Okay, so again, let's put this into perspective. Markets got walloped. Could have been much worse. However, the 10-year yield held up. It held up. If that decides to drop back down, run for the hills. And I don't think this market is done falling. I really don't. Cryptocurrencies got hit today. Metals got hit today. And again, safe haven assets, metals here. We saw the same thing in '08 as the market was melting down. We're now over 30% off the high in this stock market in 3 weeks. That's pretty incredible. This is an epic drop. It took 99% of the people by surprise, not you. If you follow this blog, I told you that the Friday before I pulled my cash out of this market. That should have been a big tell to you. I have been net short this market this entire time. I'm one of those guys who's making money here. And it's not just me. It's the Wall Street banks that are making money. But what's really happening here, people, is unbelievable. Actually, it almost borders on science fiction. In fact, a lot of people probably think it is science fiction. I want you to, when you're thinking about these markets and what could possibly be going on geopolitically, I want you to sit down and think about the most abstract thing that you can possibly come up with, and then try to see if what you're saying or thinking at that moment may actually be true, because nothing is what it seems here. I want to cover a few things with you, and I want to read it so I get this correct. Here we go. Open this up here. Today, President Trump, I'm going to read this, invokes the Defense Production Act. Defense Production Act. Now, look this up for yourself if you don't believe me. This is what invoking the Defense Production Act means for you directly. This has the power to force any business to work for the government. Servitude. This act contains 3 major sections. The first authorizes the president to require businesses to sign contracts or fulfill orders deemed necessary for national defense. The second authorizes the president to establish mechanisms such as regulations, orders, or even agencies to allocate materials, services, and facilities to promote national defense. Third, this third section authorizes the president to control the civilian economy so that scarce and or critical materials necessary to national defense effort are available for the government, which means they can confiscate assets. This is incredible. And in the face of what's going on now, and we're going to put a perspective on that, I want you to tell me if I'm wrong that a coup just occurred. So what's happening here? We are nationalizing everything. I told you before this started that this coronavirus was going to give the Federal Reserve, in this case, it's worldwide, all world central banks, the green light to own it all. So what they're doing now, central banks, let's stick to the Federal Reserve because I live here in America. And I'm sure this is happening around the world where you live, whatever central bank rule you live under, rule. So the Federal Reserve is now providing unlimited funds to buy everything. We are nationalizing corporations. They're all lining up for a bailout. Okay, so now we have this. We have a Federal Reserve who is buying America. It's buying America. It's buying everything. It's also going to drop helicopter money on you. Okay, we'll talk more about that in a second here. So we are nationalizing everything. Okay, corporations are being nationalized. The president invokes the Defense Production Act, which means you, whatever business you might be in, if it's deemed critical for the government at this time, you can and will be forced into government servitude. So let me ask you, with the possibility of having assets forfeited if you do not comply, because that's the punishment, they can take everything, or assets confiscated. I want you to think about that. So what is it called? Let me ask you. What is it called when a government starts nationalizing everything and is able to force you and your business into servitude? Think about that. Now you tell me a coup did not just occur under your nose. Of course it did. If you don't see this now, you're deaf, dumb, and blind, and you deserve every single thing that's coming to you. I'm telling you right here and right now, a coup has occurred. We have a new government here. And I told you several days ago they were going to come after your rights. Well, what right do you have now if the government can now force you into servitude with a penalty of forfeiture of your business, of assets, or confiscation of anything thereof? What is it called, people? The Federal Reserve is being allowed to buy America. The central banks around the world are being allowed to and called upon by their respective leaders to issue more debt so they can buy it all, to be the lenders and buyers of last resort. You're the borrower. Not only are you the borrower, but you can be forced into servitude. President Trump just signed it today. You still think he works for you? How about this? The Federal Reserve, the government, one and the same, the president already talking about bailouts for multiple industries. This is being sold by Mnuchin, who was all over the airwaves today. We'll talk more about that too. So, unlimited funds for corporations. Keep that word in mind. Unlimited. Now, the American people have to share $500 billion. All of us are going to get money from the government capped at $500 billion while these corporations get unlimited support. How does that work? So let's see. Corporation XYZ is going to get a bailout from the government. Meanwhile, your business and you get forced into government servitude with the threat of having your assets confiscated and or forfeited. Do you still believe that this corrupt government works for you? If you're a Trump supporter, you believe the man works for you? He works for the New World Order. Period. Go tell the YouTube blogs, and you know exactly who I am talking about, what just happened, because they're not going to talk about it. Go on their YouTube blogs and say, do you realize what's happening? Do you realize that we are nationalizing everything right now with funds provided by the Federal Reserve, who is buying everything like I explained to you would happen since time immemorial? And now the president invokes this Defense Production Act where they can force you into servitude? Again, with the threat of confiscation of your wealth, forfeiture of assets? You've got to be kidding me. You don't believe a coup just happened. You don't believe this is bigger than what meets you at face value. Honestly, wake up, all right? Wake up, or you're going to fall victim to this entire thing. What are they going to do? Confiscate? What are they going to do to me? Zero. Maybe take me off of YouTube? Good. Let them do that, okay? I don't need to be here. I do it for you. Look, we all have to share $500 billion. $500 billion. Okay, that's not even one repo that the Fed does every single day. They're up to $1 trillion repos per day. But we, the American people, have to share $500 billion between all of us. Meanwhile, the corporations are going to get unlimited bailouts and unlimited funds. Why do you think so? Because the Fed is going to be the lender and buyer of last resort, and you get left holding the bag of dog shit. You got that? Not only you get left holding the bag of dog shit, you're going to be forced into servitude. Why didn't the president explain what he was signing today? Why? Why not? Because if you understood that now you are living at the mercy of your government, which is nationalizing everything, you would understand that we have gone way beyond socialism. This has now become communism and fascism. And we have a kleptocracy as well going on here. You think you are free? You're not free anymore. What makes you free? If the government can now legally come after your business, your assets, and take whatever they want and force you to serve them on your freaking knees. That's where you're going to be, all of you. All of you who are too blind to see that a coup just happened. Right in your freaking face. And the Federal Reserve is being allowed by the president, by a corrupt government, to own everything and to own you. That's the truth. You are so absolutely, completely screwed. You have no idea yet, but you're going to. You're going to know very shortly. Not only have you watched your 401k plans or whatever investment vehicle you have go up in smoke over the past 3 weeks here. We lost 3 years of market gains in 3 weeks, and we're not done. We are not done here. The amount of debt that they've added already off the Richter scale, you all knew it was coming because I told you before it happened. Much more is coming. Much more. It's unlimited. Steve Mnuchin today was explaining to people that if these corporations do not get a bailout, look this up for yourself or go to my Facebook page or my Twitter feed, that we are going into a Great Depression. A Great Depression. It's being sold to the American people by fear. You understand that? This is what they always do. Start up a crisis, offer a solution. Do this or else. This is how they steal your rights. This is how the president is allowed to sign the Defense Production Act and legally take your labor for the government. You serve the government now. How do you feel about that? How do you feel that we have lost all of our freedoms? It's gone. Friday the 13th, I told you, this was the day the free market died. And if you don't believe that the president is now the chosen one, his words, for the New World order after the coup that just happened, then you are deranged and deluded beyond your wildest dreams, and you're lost, and you're going to get crushed with a boot on your throat, which is already there, that you can be forced now to serve the government or have your assets forfeited or confiscated. Does this sound like the United States of America we had last month? Do you see what happened here? Are you that blind that you cannot see? Let me know, because I can't believe that. You know, it's very possible that the videos I did, I explained to you that I believe that there is some kind of an alignment between Russia and the United States angling itself against China. Well, whether or not that's even true or not, again, I said my calls are 90% correct. So that meant I had a 10% chance of that being wrong. But you tell me what else is going on here. You tell me that a coup did not occur, no matter what else might be lurking behind this hideous thing, that America now is no longer the home of the free and the land of the brave. No more over. It's completely gone. You still don't believe a coup occurred? Unbelievable, people. Unfreaking believable. The Fed is now at the top of that pyramid, just where they have wanted to be since the inception of central banking. All these world central banks are doing the same thing. They're now flooding the world with debt. They're making the citizens of the world borrowers or slaves while they own it all. And people like President Donald Trump are giving them the green light, and the excuse is the virus. Sure, keep that money coming. Let us nationalize everything. Let us buy everything. Moreover, I'm going to sign the Defense Production Act so I can force American people into servitude and or take their assets. Sounds good to you? You still think this is the United States of America we had just a month ago? Really? All right, look. This is just getting so grossly out of hand here, people. It's incredible. It really is. America has now died, and nobody, except maybe me and a few of you out here, want to save her. It's over for us. It's 100% over. There is a new world order now in effect. I want you to ponder that for the rest of this night. I'm going to leave you off with that. People, this guy does love you, and we need each other more than ever. More than ever, people. Love each other, care about each other, and be charitable. And understand that right now, the New World Order has you by the throat. And the chosen one here for the New World Order is Donald Trump.